So we're recording right now. So actually, we'll just get right into it because this video is going to go out to our Patreons as well. This is an experiment. So people are going to see this live on the video, like on Patreon, with the audio edit on iTunes. All the shenanigans and stupidness that doesn't work will not make it to the official feed. Because I've never done a Google Meet before, so I'm not too sure quite how it works. And I know a couple of people are already asking to come in. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to let the two people in, let them say hi. And I have no idea what they think they're going to say or what we're going to... Which is great. That's what makes live radio and what it is. Let's just say it. Welcome to the season finale, season 6, Rocky Balboa coverage. I'm your host, Ryan. This is Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast, and with me for this special event is Kyle. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
So right now, I've got Chad Trower. He wants to jump in. Okay, so Chad, we're going to let you in. He can't hear me. So are you ready, Kyle? We're going to let Chad in.
Or sacred space.
Hopefully his pants are up. Let's... All right, here we go.
Oh, there's Chad.
Wow, there he is.
Hey, am I muted?
No, you're good. We see you.
Good.
Okay. I don't see myself. I just see you guys. How are you?
Good. Wow, this is Chad Trower. This is what he looks like. We read his emails.
Yeah, from Oklahoma, Collinsville. How are you guys?
Good.
The background you have there with the Rocky poster and the movies and whatnot. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say you got the Rambo and the Rocky Balboa poster behind you.
Yes, I do.
And Kyle has absolutely nothing. As per normal, he not only comes in unprepared as a guest host.
Kyle, I don't see any Rocky stuff there. No, nothing.
No, I'm in my my home office where I'm working from home. But no, I screwed up. I don't have any Rocky.
That's okay.
All right. Well, we were just saying before you joined the chat that we've never done this before, having kind of a guest audience, so to speak. What I thought of doing on the fly here is we can kind of just keep going with the show as we would record it. You can kind of like watch and chime in or talk. I think we actually have an email from you. We have one more person who wants to join. So basically, when the important people are talking, I want the little peons to shut up. No, I'm just...
This guy.
That was we're just ham and eggers.
No, you can interrupt it, Will.
Well, we're going to bring Louise on. Louise, he's waiting. Let's see. Okay, I'll tell him he can join. Okay, so the only reason when somebody starts talking, it's a cheap, free system. It blocks the other person out. So if we're all talking at once, that's the only problem. So once you start talking over somebody, it cuts that other person out. That's all it is. So Okay, so Louise is going to say hi too, so we're going to bring him in, and we'll give introductions to him. Let me bring up the emails. Tell him if you guys see it.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the email. So we'll just start with yours, Chad.
Okay.
I think you sent us one, didn't you? Yeah, there it is. There it is, right here.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there's the invite. Louise is coming.
Oh, I see him. Mr.
Mozo.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. How you doing? How you guys? How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. And now, is it Louis or Louise?
Well, I usually anglicize it, so Louis is fine.
Well, what's the non-Anglo?
Well, Luis. Yeah, no one really calls me that except for my mom. Either way works.
We don't want to step on your mom's toes, so Louis. All right. So we got Chad and Louis. You're probably going to be the only guys who are joining us, which is totally fine. I'm surprised anybody is. When I put the invite out there, as per normal, I expect nothing, and we got something. That's amazing. And we want to thank you guys personally for your support of the show, being a Patreon, emailing us, tweeting us on Twitter, and you guys are just great. So we just want to thank you for representing. Other people did the same thing, but you guys certainly are now putting the face to the fandom, so we do appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.
They really are real, Ryan.
I know.
For me, man, I just really appreciate what you guys do, man, because I'm deep in the weeds with you guys. Whenever I'm listening to the entire catalog, because I think I started listening when you guys were probably at the end of Rocky 4, and so I had to catch up. It was just really enjoyable catching and listening to the minutia that I would appreciate, myself watching the Rocky movies, and you guys did too. So it was like, okay, I support these guys. Like, no matter what, let's go home team.
Oh, wow.
Home team, there you go.
Chad, when did you start listening?
A few months back, I stumbled across it using my Spotify. I work in a back warehouse in shipping and receiving, and I started listening to reviews. It may have been Slycast, and then morphed into your show as well, and I kept listening. I was like, man, I love this. And then I started listening to the newer episodes, and I thought, I can't wait for the next episode. And I was hooked in.
Okay, have you gone to the back catalog as well?
Yes, I've done Rocky 5, 4, and 3. I've not done 1 and 2 yet.
We talk about it. We've referenced the first few seasons with my brother. Spoiler alert for you guys, just so you know. I think it's Ruben's intention to come on here and say hi as well.
That's cool, man. He was great too, man. Obviously, he hasn't been around recently, but he did his part too, man. I enjoyed all those episodes.
He's great. Yeah, he's my brother. If you don't like him, I'll kick you out of the group. What we're going to do right now is we're going to read some emails. So, Chad, you sent us an email. I think it was just about this, the actual thing that you're on now. It goes, hello, Ryan. Da, 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 da. All right, so it's just questions about this podcast. We'd love to be a part of it, and here you are. That's amazing. You have never done anything like this before. Well, neither have we, really. Okay, so you're here. Part of the finale. There you go. Confirmed. I'll hit confirm back to you.
Appreciate that.
It's awesome that you're here, man. It is really cool. So let's go down to Adrian. Adrian, he has his own podcast. I've talked about him before, Arcade Attack. He wanted to be a part of the show, but it was going to be 3:30 in the morning his time in the UK. Obviously, he just doesn't like us that much. He actually sent me a message saying, I would love to be a part of the show, but I didn't sleep very well last night. I got to go to bed. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't get up 3:30 in the morning for my own kids. So he goes, hi, guys. If you had the power to make any additional spin-off movies in the Rocky universe, what would it be? Similar to the Creed films. He says you can make any type of film, such as a prequel, etc., or even a series, but it has to be based on one character. My friend Rob actually thought a Ludmilla film would have been great. However, his idea was touted to me before Creed 2. But still, that's fair. That's not a bad idea. He goes on to say, I personally would love to see a film based on Tommy Gunn after the events of Rocky 5, or seeing the rise and fall of Thunderlips, or even a crazy buddy-style cop show starring the robot in Rocky 4 and Paulie solving crimes and bringing justice to the world. He goes, I may be joking a little in the last idea. However, in today's TV, that might work. And then he did say here that I remember you having a great discussion in the past about a Mickey series, but I cannot remember if Kyle was on for that particular podcast. I'll take it to you guys, but my quick answer to that is, yeah, I'm still sticking to a Mickey miniseries, a 10-part miniseries of Mickey during those glory days. Remember when Rocky saw the picture from Mickey's wallet and he says, oh, you don't take very good care of that picture? When he didn't have no manager? I want to see that series.
Yeah, I'd like to see the, I believe it was nail to the eye. His opponent had a nail in his glove.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely would like to see that. I think with Mickey, you'd have the most freedom. There's no constraints related to Rocky until Mickey gets old. You can create whatever world you want to. Nothing you need to tie back to Rocky.
Wouldn't that be great to have a series called Gold Mill on Netflix that was 10 or 12 parts, and it was his whole life? I don't know why they haven't thought of that yet. Maybe Stallone is writing something like that, but I don't think so. He's focused on Rambo and Rocky still. I think it'd be great.
But yeah, I agree with Chad. Like they need to do that series because a ton of people would watch it, and that would just be a cool time period to do a boxing series in, like Roaring Twenties, Great Depression. If you guys have seen Cinderella Man, there were some good boxing scenes in that movie, and with Mickey, that would be great.
What I said for the Mickey series, how I saw it ending was Mickey opens. So basically, Mickey has a failed kind of boxing career because he didn't have no manager. So he's teaching the new up and comers, and he opens up the gym, and he's working with a prospect or whatever. You see kind of the silhouette of Rocky walk into the gym. Sly is still alive, so you can still do the voice, but it's just a silhouette or even a CGI young face, and he just says, "Oh, yo, you open?" The series ends on that when Rocky first meets Mickey. I think that'd be a great way to end the Gold Mill miniseries on HBO.
So yeah, that would end in the late 60s then. Like you'd have a huge time period where you can go over.
Yeah.
From basically the mid-20s to the mid-late 60s.
That'd be a great tie-in to lead in, not into the first Rocky movie, but the beginnings of Rocky's career when he was in his 20s.
Agreed.
Use Stallone's voice, that would be really neat to really tie it all in. Yeah, that'd be great.
I think if you were to do a poll, I think the majority of Rocky fans would say if you're going to do any kind of prequel or any kind of spin-off, I think right away it has to be the Mickey Goldmill story. Let's go on to Karmic Sean O'Brien. He said, hey, yo, I know I often bring this up and maybe too much. Now, if anyone that follows us on Twitter, he's the guy that on Twitter always talks about the Rocky V director's cut. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? I think he goes by Sean O'Farrell or something like that on Twitter. I love this guy because he actually became a Patreon, and I sent him a message not knowing it was the same guy on Twitter, just saying, hey, as I always do, I say, hey, thanks for becoming a Patreon. Appreciate your support. And I said, how long have you been listening to the podcast? And he goes, oh, I don't listen to it yet. This guy's been following me on Twitter and just commenting on the feed that he just wanted to support the show, but he's gone to start listening to the podcast. To me, that was amazing that he would do that kind of support without even listening to the show. So it just shows you some of the fandom that people have about Rocky in general. So he's a huge fan of Rocky V Director's Cut. He says, I know from what you've told me before, basically saying that I'm waiting for kind of an official release of the cut. He says here, perhaps with the issues with Sly and the producers and other reasons, it will never come out, which is probably true. He says, however, 99% of people say that Rocky V is their least favorite, but if they see the director's cut, they like Rocky V more. He goes on to say where you can find it on YouTube. I have a hard time finding it on YouTube, but Craig of Slycast, and I'm saying this to Sean, he sent me a digital work print copy of the movie. He got a hold of it, and he did send it to me. So, Sean and listeners, it is my intention. I haven't yet. I will watch the Rocky V cut. I'm just not in the mood right now. I will watch it. It has to be done as a completist because everyone keeps talking about it, and I will give it an honest review. And Sean, yes, if you turn out not to be a nutcase, which I don't think you are, but I'm always nervous about bringing people on that I never talk, face to face. He really wants to talk about the cut, and I wouldn't mind doing that because he seems to be an expert on it. And so all that being said, I am excited, and thank you, Craig of Slycast, for sending me that digital copy. And Craig sent me, interestingly enough, he sent me a copy of Rocky V. It's the 1980s version. And you think, what the heck does that mean? Well, somebody shortened the Rocky V into an hour and 24-minute film, and they replaced all the music with 80s montage music. And it's wild. I watched that, and it was really cool. Like, they cut out the scenes, like the Madame DuPont drawing scene, for example, was cut out. So they kind of cut out the silly scenes and made it a tighter film with the 80s soundtrack music. So if people are interested in both these cuts, Gmail me at gtdwithrr@gmail.com. Send me your email, and I will Google Drive these videos for you. You just ask for them, and I'll send them to you.
I don't know much about the Rocky V director's cut, actually, until I listened to the Rocky V review on Slycast, and they mentioned the director's cut, and I was like, wow. So I looked on YouTube and saw all these extra scenes and whatnot, but I wasn't aware of it beforehand for some reason.
If the Little Marie crackhead scene or whatever's in there, I'm all for it.
I'm sure it is. I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it, but I would assume all those cuts or all those missing footage is in it. The problem with the rough cut, what I've seen of it, is that it is rough. It's a working print. It's like a demo tape, so the quality isn't that great. You know when they film a film and the actor will go behind the little screen with the director and say, oh, like they just shot a scene and they'll watch it. So that's basically what this is. It's like the whole film with all the non-deleted scenes. It's a little bit darker. It's a little bit grittier. Apparently, there's like a longer drunk scene of Rocky being drunk in the bar before he gets kicked out. There's a whole scene of that.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty bad. It's rough. Marie's also pretty scary looking in that scene. Crackhead Marie around a burning trash can. Yeah, like I could see why they cut it out. I don't know.
That played Little Marie in the first Rocky movie is actually originally in Rocky V. I knew that, but they decided to delete that, and the rest is history. But
since it's on the Little Marie topic, one of my favorite moments that I can recall is there was a discussion of the actress who played Little Marie, and I believe, Ryan, you found her her website or something. She still had an active website, but the last work on there was years and years ago. I went to look it up. It was so hilarious, dude. When you guys were talking about that.
Yeah, we slagged it pretty bad. Sometimes I kind of feel bad, but I've held back, and sometimes this is behind the curtain stuff a little bit. When you podcast, there's that kind of weird fine line between you want to be entertaining, but you don't want to just crap on people. That's that's not what we do. We're fair. I think we're pretty fair-minded. When something just kind of deserves a bit of ridicule, we ridicule it. If something is praised, of course, we're more than happy to praise it. We love the Rocky franchise. Of course, we love Sly's work. But if you heard those podcast crossover episodes we do, there's many of Sly films that are not praiseworthy. Little Marie, the actress, I forget her name, it's like Jodie something. I reached out to her 2 or 3 years ago in this Hotmail. Hotmail is always a kind of a, what do you call it, a red flag. If somebody has Hotmail, they're probably not checking it anymore. So I sent her a Hotmail and no response. And then I did it again after that recording there, Louise. I sent her out an email, just one more chance. I wouldn't be surprised that the same actress is probably method acting her part as Little Marie. She's probably some crack whore beside a barrel. Just joking. Just for the record, everyone's laughing, but their microphones are muted. I hope the audience at home is laughing. Okay, we're going to go on to the next email here. Maybe she'll get back to me. Maybe she's listening to this episode. Okay, this is from Greg. This is the other Greg. He says, "Hey, Ryan, I will absolutely tune in for the Rambo podcast. Humble request, though, that we finish Rocky's journey first." So again, we've said before that the emails are sometimes a little bit behind because we have a couple of episodes in the bank. Don't let that discourage you from sending us emails because they're still worth talking about, even though if they're behind, so to speak. He says, "He built such an impressive content of library of interviews and editorials. Please keep it packaged and follow it through to the end," which we're going to do. Rambo will be waiting for us all when we need a lift following the close of this chapter, the other Greg. So yes, other Greg, we are going to be doing that.
Yeah, buddy, however you want to do it, man. I mean, I'm going to be there for all of it, dude. I get the idea of the chronological finish, the Rocky, but if you're hyped up for Rambo, man, I'll do it.
I am looking forward to you doing Creed 1 and 2.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to Rambo as well, but I feel like the Creed movies are a little bit more than just straight up spin-off movies because Rocky is directly involved, of course, and his past. So they're connected to the movies pretty well, I think, especially Creed 2. Gee whiz. That's really connected. I think they need to be done, yes.
Okay.
I agree. I don't know if it was the last episode or the one before that. It seemed like if you start watching it, you're not really feeling it. You're just going to kind of like just get through it. I don't want you to lose your enthusiasm, man. That Lords of Flatbush review was already tough enough.
You don't need to make 30 episodes for each movie, but through them, though.
I like the idea of doing the Creed ones, tying up the Rocky and Rocky-related ones. I consider Creed more or less part of the franchise. It's not exactly, but it's so interrelated that it's weird to spend a ton of time on Rambo and then all of a sudden go back to Creed. Like it's a little disjointed. So
sure.
I'm definitely in favor of doing Creed and then Rambo.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what's going to happen. We are doing the Creeds. Say it again. We are doing it. Greg the First. He chimes in and goes, "Ryan and Kyle just finished the episode leading up to the fight in Rocky Balboa where Rocky and Marie kiss. My memories of that kiss were that it was on the cheek, so I was surprised that it was a legitimate kiss on the lips when I was rewatching. I think both actors played that scene very well, though. It never feels romantic, and in my opinion, it should not. I don't know, a lesser man like myself, if Little Marie gave me a kiss, I might have seen it through." He goes on to say, "I also wanted to say that you are correct, Ryan, of course. Leroy Neiman is painting Apollo in Rocky 2 while Apollo trains. The mustache is unmistakable. I'm not sure why that does not show up on IMDb. Maybe it's because he's uncredited." Yeah, okay, good. But the real reason I wanted to send you guys an email is I wanted to make my case giving Creed and Creed 2. Okay, we won't rehash this, and this is not his fault. So yeah, he agrees that we should continue with the Creed films. Greg the First, thank you for that email. Yeah, we are going to keep plugging through the Creed films, and we're going to get into the Rambo films afterwards. Because he mentioned that he's not a big Rambo fan. He represents a part of our listeners, and we do have a group of listeners that don't like or don't watch or don't care about the Rambo films. But ironically, or maybe not ironically, but there's a huge market. That was a terrible word. I didn't mean that. There's a huge audience of Rambo fans. And so it'll be interesting to see how the shift in the show, when we do close the Creed chapters, how many will kind of drop off because they're just not Rambo fans at all, and maybe how many will come on board that are Rambo fans, and then they'll see, holy crap, these guys did a Rocky before this, and because there's probably people that haven't discovered our podcast because they're Rambo fanatics, if that makes sense. So they're just looking at Rambo things online. Greg, the other Greg. Kyle, remember we thought his English might not have been his first language? was reading one of his emails, and I actually said, I don't think English is his first language.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you not catch that?
I remember that conversation, but I didn't think it was the other Greg, though.
Yeah, it was the other Greg, yeah. He says, guys, your classic epic mailbag. And he goes, when I commended you on the past year of interviews of AJ and Bill Conti, they were in the top of his mind. He goes, sadly, English is my mother tongue. He goes, I guess my classical education, humanities studies didn't do as much for my pen as I had hoped. I shall endeavor to improve my grammar, and I will... Now he's talking about Twitter. He goes, I will follow Kyle if he follows me on Twitter. You guys are great.
What do you do right now?
Yeah, he followed you, by the way. He's one of your new followers.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I have not followed you yet, Kyle. I'm sorry.
That's cool. I guess I am following Greg. I just forgot that I was.
Okay.
I think Greg just types a little punchy. That's all.
He might just be a little bit punchy.
Yeah, he might have been like drinking or something too. I don't know. I have done podcasts drunk. I did one podcast stoned. But then Ryan kept having to get my attention, so I thought I'd never do that again.
As long as you do your podcast with your clothes on, so.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Now, this is a really big, long email from Greg the First. And I don't want to shortchange him. He did send me a recent one. Let's talk about the highlights here. He says, first of all, Ryan, I think you are a great host. Well, thank you. Because he mentioned on the episode that you think Kyle, that he likes Kyle better. And all I want to say is that Kyle is the best co-host you've ever had. Oh, that's going to be awkward when my brother comes on.
We'll get this out of the way before we...
Yeah. He goes, you are a fantastic team and complement each other well. As for Twitter, you might notice that I do not follow either of the hosts. Nothing personal. But I do, of course, follow the podcast feed. I love how this Twitter thing's become an issue. I like to shame people. It's always in good fun. I'm just joking when I do. And we talked more about the Ramble Creed stuff. And he wanted to bring up some trivia here that... Rocky's trunks, the black and gold, they mentioned in Rocky 2 that those were the colors of his high school that he never graduated from. So there you go.
Oh, wasn't that a line in the first film? Something about the robe or something came from the high school he never graduated from? I'm pretty sure I thought that was the first film, though.
Yeah, well, I think it is. He sent us a YouTube clip of his entrance into the ring. Maybe they say that in that video.
Okay, yeah.
And, of course, we actually get to see that high school band in Rocky 3 at the statue ceremony. And, of course, you'll remember that the band is playing the Rocky theme. I just always love that. Yep. Can you imagine being Rocky? It's like, man, everywhere I go, I've got this freaking theme music playing. Like, who came up with this?
Who invented this thing?
I invented it. It says here that, yes, there was a deleted scene where Rocky receives an honorary diploma, but it ended on the cutting room floor. That was filmed. Doesn't it suck that we'll never have those deleted scenes on a DVD box set? It really bugs me. Oh, he says here, Kyle, that Ryan commented on Paulie having his own name on the back of his outfit instead of Rocky. He goes, that's not the first time. He had his own name on the back shirt in the second Clubber Lang fight in Rocky 3.
Mm.
I remember that now. Yeah.
So Paulie might be a narcissist.
You think?
It has to be about him. I'm just kidding. I don't really think he's a narcissist, but
he's just, well, he's Paulie. He's always thinking of himself. I mean, narcissist. He's kind of a dick, and he always thinks of himself. So I don't know. Is that what a narcissist is?
I don't think he's really a narcissist, but it does seem like something a narcissist would do.
Goes on here to say that Mike Tyson, about Mike Tyson, goes, Ryan mentioned that Tyson plays the Joe Frazier role in the Rocky, but he also is playing the Apollo Creed role from the first Lang fight in Rocky 3. I don't mind seeing Tyson, and he isn't the last real boxer we see in the series. Roy Jones Jr. is a commentator in Creed 2. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, me too. I've only seen Creed 2 twice.
Me too. I've only seen it twice as well. Yeah. The third time, I guess, will be when we go over the show. Lastly, he talks about Stitch, Jacob Stitch Duran. You mentioned that in one of our recordings.
Yeah.
He says here, so that's all I have to add for now. Good luck with the finale. Thanks, Greg the First. Greg the First also mentioned he wanted to say that he doesn't know when to email us because our email times are weird. And I want to just again say that don't hesitate to email us, even if they're seen behind, because it's still great conversation. And people have gone back to me saying that they like the email bag portion because it's Rocky talk and it's us talking about Rocky in general. People are telling us things that we missed, obviously, things like that. Lastly, the other Greg, this is the last one. He sent us some cool photos. You guys can see these photos. Dear Ryan, this is the other Greg now. When you get to the Balboa deleted scenes, keep an eye out for this little white dog at the Shamrock Meat Factory. In one of the pictures attached, Bert is explaining to Antonio Tarver that Stallone painted a bullet hole in the head of the dog that Burnt was painting. So there's a painting here that Burt was painting, and Stallone painted a bullet hole in the head. That's a little dark, but we have pictures of it. He goes, I have attached another picture of me, this is from the other Greg, with Burt, with paintings featured in another deleted scene in Paulie's bedroom when Rocky brings him a cup of coffee. All good fun, the other Greg. So this is really cool.
That dog picture just became way more valuable.
Yeah.
Now that Stallone painted a bullet in it.
So you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This is why you got to be a Patreon. You get this now. You guys get to see it live, but if you watch this video after we record it, I'll post the video on YouTube on our secret link, and you get to see these pictures live.
You can't see it on the audio, that's for sure.
No. There's the other Greg. He's a handsome fella. Let's old gawk at the other Greg. That's pretty cool, man. He's got a picture with Burt Young holding the painting. That's wild. He just walks out with it. It's like Burt Young's going to catch up to him.
Crime don't pay.
From 2006 of Rocky Balboa, or is that now?
This picture here?
Yeah.
Oh, got to be more recent. Either that one Greg's really tall or Burt Young's quite short.
Probably a bit of both. So now we know the other Greg speaks English. Now he's got to send us a message and let us know how tall he is.
Yeah, Greg, we want to know this.
These are things we need to know.
I'm guessing Greg is 6'2". That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, wow. I'm going with 6'1". I'm going under.
Okay. Is this Price is Right rules or who's closest?
Kyle, let's go to who's following you.
Oh, yeah.
Two
No
new-
French chicks following me anymore.
She's not?
No new ones are.
Oh, okay. No new girls are following you, Kyle, so that's embarrassing. You got E.M. King following you. He's new, isn't he?
Yeah, I have a few new ones. Like, I just followed this guy back. Someone named Ryan Goldie 8.
Yeah, he's one of our
His thing right now
patrons.
says, I feel like pure shit. Just want Spurs ruining my weekends again.
And the other Greg's following you.
Yeah. EM. I don't know who that is.
E.M. King, he says here, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Classic.
And he has a picture with Stallone.
Yeah.
Or no, it's not. It's Schwarzenegger with Stallone. Never mind.
Well,
Like once I zoomed in on it, unless he's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's probably not the case.
that's funny. All right, so I'm just going to send the invite to Ruben to join whenever he wants. Keep going.
I think that's it.
It's your only 2 followers. Okay, so the invite has been sent to Ruben. I just wanted to get those email bags and stuff out of the way. So let's get to the deleted scenes. I got them ready to go. I just got to change the share screen so you guys can watch along.
Man, back when we first started doing the podcast,
Yeah.
we didn't have the share screen. We just had I'd have the Rocky DVD in the computer, and we just watch our movies separately at the same time, and just hopefully they were in frame. Those are the bad old days.
Those are, yeah, I was going to say, Chad, if you go back and listen to the first couple seasons, don't stop listening to our show. Just know that we get better, which is weird because you're listening to our newer episode. We sounded terrible. Our love was in the game, but what's that?
I heard you guys mention that, how it starts off kind of rocky, and yeah, I need to go back. I plan on it.
Pun intended.
Yeah, it is Rocky.
Yeah, it's like analogous to the Spider Rico fight versus the Apollo Creed fight.
Yeah, season 1 is Spider Rico.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. It's just, if I'd known what I knew now about podcasting, it would have been a better product. I'm also at the same time, it's how you grow. Just like we see the Rocky character grow, we grew. We
To
changed.
put it like this, you had the high, you just didn't have the tools yet.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Somewhere you guys had a start, and you've improved, and it keeps getting better and better, actually. So
Oh, thank you. Or you might go back and listen to the first couple seasons and wonder what happened to us. We used to be have integrity and did well. Who knows? So it could work against us. So this is a big deleted scene here. We talked about this where Rocky goes into the back alley with Paulie, and it was a longer conversation that they had after the I've got to watch, that scene. So he goes on the back alley, and it's a longer conversation. Has anyone seen this yet?
I've seen this scene. I remember this.
Okay. So our audience members at home can listen, but if you want to watch it as well, you just go to YouTube and Google or search for Rocky Balboa deleted scenes. So that's the scene, but you'll get to listen to it anyways. And if you want to watch it, become a patron. Can you guys see it and hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I see it.
Yo, Paulie. 31 years. I give him 31 years. 31 years freezing. So what? Too much. It's getting cold in here. I think I'm going home. Cold in here? It is cold in here! Take care, you stink!
That's weird. It's I don't think it's the proper deleted scene. Somebody hacked with this. What do you guys think?
That's something's. He talks about how he misses Adrian, and it's a pretty good scene. I think they should have left it, but yeah, something happened here.
They added Rocky 1 scenes. I don't think they were supposed to do that.
Right. No, they weren't.
Okay, maybe it comes up in a different one.
Okay, try this one. Just
this one
why
here?
am I pointing at my screen? No one can see that. Yeah, that one. There.
Yeah, I think this one is somebody fanning it, which is great. Good for the fans, but we want to see the actual scenes. Okay, let's try that again. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. I should have vetted it.
Oh, yeah, it's 40 seconds shorter than the other one. The other one was 4 minutes. Or no, 20 seconds shorter, sorry. So maybe that's the 20 seconds or the Rocky scenes that were added in.
All right, let's try this one. Sorry about that, guys. This is the stuff that we edit out when we make mistakes.
Yo, Paulie. 31 years. I give him 31 years. 31 years freezing. For what? It stinks. My life stinks. What have I done? Nothing, Rocco. Nothing. Why didn't I die instead of my sister? I miss my sister, Rocco. I miss her. I really miss her. Oh, why am I here? And she's not. She never, nobody, Rocco. She's all I had, Rocco. Now you're all I have. And you never let me down. And I treat you bad, too. Why do I do that, Rocco?
You're still my best friend, Paulie. Yeah, my very crazy best friend.
What am I going to do now, Rock?
What do you want to do?
Can I move back in the house?
Sure, but what about...
If I'm going to be lonely, I'd rather be lonely with you. And she snored.
Well, yeah, it'd be great if you moved back in.
Okay, I appreciate this,
Sure.
Rocco.
Here, let me help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, it's good to have you back. I missed you. I missed you. See you back at the house.
Okay. Hey, Rock,
Yeah.
it takes guts climbing back in that ring knowing you're gonna take a beating.
Thanks, Paulie.
Yo, Rock. You're gonna do all right, Rocco.
How do you know that?
The stuff in the basement.
I like that deleted scene. I really kind of think it should have been left in the movie. Maybe it's a good moment for Polly and Rocky. They bond, and they haven't for a long time. I think Burt Young possibly could have maybe worked on his part a little more and fine-tuned it a little bit better. But I think it's actually a really good scene. It's about him losing his job. He misses his sister. I like it. I don't think it was too long either. I don't think it would have bogged the movie down. I like that scene. It's a good one.
As Chad pointed out, Bert didn't bring his A game, so all I could think about was whenever he was with the cry, that's all I could think. You guys ruined it for me.
Your life is busted.
Lewis does like it when we do that. Yeah.
So honestly, though, yeah, I'm glad they didn't include it. Nah, I'm not really feeling it.
Okay.
Don't think you need it. Don't think it's necessary for the film.
I'm kind of in between Chad and Louise here. I didn't mind the scene. It was interesting with Paulie. I would have cut out the girlfriend part because that kind of came out of left field. I'm like, what girlfriend? It gets me thinking, like, who would be Paulie's girlfriend? Like, they could have edited out that part.
File that they deleted out with Polly's girlfriend and
That's right. Yeah.
So that it wouldn't make sense unless they included that scene also. So.
Yeah, that's true. If they wanted to take out the girlfriend scene, they just had to do a minor edit for that. One thing weird about the scene, and it's just because it's a deleted scene, is no music. And it's interesting because when you played that first fan that fan scene where they had the music in there, I kind of liked that. And then we went to the real deleted scene, which didn't have the music, and it was weird. And now I'm sure if they did include that scene, it would also have some sort of music to make it better. So I really didn't mind that scene. Paulie could have cried less. That was my only thing. I don't mind if he cries a bit, but I found like the crying all the time a little bit excessive, which I saw kind of with Chad and Louise's point. Like Paulie could have maybe tweaked his performance there. They could have adjusted it, but yeah, I think they could have made a room for that scene.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between everybody too. All good points. Burt Young, bless his heart. I liked that he acknowledged that he was a terrible brother-in-law, that he was a terrible brother. I think that scene would have worked better, yes, if he was more angry than the crying. Like if he was like, you know, I was mean to her and she was the good one. I'm the one that shouldn't be alive. She should be alive with you, Rocky, giving you the love and support that you need, that I can't give you. That kind of dialogue. Then Rocky could have interjected and said, you know, Paulie, it's just life. You know, I'm glad you're here. Don't talk crazy. You know, something like that. You know, instead of the, oh, my life is busted. That was for you, Lewis. That was for you. Okay, let's go on to the next deleted scene. This one, it's not in order. I just did the deleted scenes. And maybe we've missed some. I don't think we did. I looked at what's ahead. But this one I've seen as well. It's not a very long one. This is the early morning or beginning of the film. It's called Waking Up. Waking Up with Sylvester Stallone. Imagine waking up to him every day.
Hey, yo, how you doing?
How you doing? I'll make you some eggs, you know.
I appreciate it.
So nice little callback here. Of course, they got the turtles in the tank, Cuff and Link in the tank.
Do you think that is the same turtle?
That's the rumor. I think it might be.
Apparently it is.
I want to believe that, so I'm just going to. Like, yeah, it's the same. It could be the same. So I'm like, why not?
How fast do turtles grow? I mean,
well, they live for a long, long time.
I know they do.
Yeah, it could be them. I feel bad for them because they're in that shitty little aquarium. I don't know what they think about all day.
Been in there for like 45 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not for Balboa, but
yeah.
All right, so now we got Rocky in the kitchen making food. We got obviously see here we got some Cento tomato cans and spices to kind of indicate that he's a bit of a cook at home too. Now that he has
his kitchen looks pretty good. He doesn't look like he's living bachelor style or anything. It looks like he's got his act together.
Yeah, he's got clean dishes put away, drying out overnight. There's no food or on the counters or anything. Yeah, it's clean. You know, you can tell it's been wiped.
You don't see like a roach go across the counter or something like that.
Right, pretty tidy, not overly neat, but tidy.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's making porridge. It looks like oatmeal or porridge. He's grabbing his coffee. So obviously for our audio listeners, this is what he's doing. No dialogue here. Okay, so what's happening here, of course, is he's grabbing eggs, put them into a glass with the idea that he's going to drink them. I can see why, we're speaking right now about the scene, I can see why they deleted this part out. Like, it's a little bit silly to show the eggs again. This is a complete callback, of course, to the first film. We already had the turtles. They're trying to jam-pack a lot of Easter eggs here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he spits it out. Now, the thing is, the reason why it doesn't work is why would he do that? Like, he's 59 years old. He hasn't fought in 20 years. Does he just decide, what the heck, I'm going to drink eggs today?
You know what? I like it because it's almost kind of like, can I do the things I used to be able to do?
Well, he's angry about it. Look, he's angry that he couldn't do it.
He's kind of disappointed with himself that he couldn't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And he puts a coffee mug down there that says Paulie. So now we're led to believe that Paulie may or may not live here. Yep, there he is. Drunk. Hungover. This is actually them just waking up Burt Young for his casting call.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
Now, you see that there? You see that, guys? Look here. You see this? The blurred out photo of Apollo.
Why is that blurred out?
Carl Weathers did not grant permission to have his likeness used in the film.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, what an asshole. I like Carl Weathers, but I think that was I think that was kind of a dick move.
Carl Weathers, since the beginning of this film, has been a dick.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Sure, great. He's a father, grandfather. I don't even know his family, but if he has a family, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's got friends. He's got, whatever. But it's so odd that he's so antagonistic with this franchise. And the very beginning, when he was auditioning for the role, he's like, oh, who's playing Rocky? He's like, oh, you're not an actor. And granted, that was how he got the role, because Sly's like, hey, get this guy. He's perfect. And he was perfect. He's perfect for this role. But it seems like he's a bit of a dick.
I'm sure it came down to money.
Yeah.
To have his character represented in this movie or whatnot. Yeah.
And it's too bad because, yes, money is, I understand. But I don't know. It's like Sly could have, and I don't think he did. That's not Sly's style. But he could have said, dude, man, do you think you're anybody? Do you think you would have been who you are to any degree without the Rocky franchise?
He probably thinks so, knowing just his personality profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he blames his lack of other roles in Hollywood because of the Rocky franchise. I think he says he's been typecast. And I'm like, well, Stallone took himself out of other films. And I know Carl Weathers has done a lot of acting jobs. It's just, I think he should owe everything to the Rocky franchise. I'm sorry. I don't know where he would be without it. I wonder, maybe he'd be the next Denzel. I don't know, but...
Career began and ended with Rocky IV.
Well, it's more than I have.
I mean, yeah, he's had a great career. It could have been better after Rocky, but it's not terrible. I mean, he's had some good movies.
And he had a fun guest starring role in Arrested Development.
Sure.
He was in Happy Gilmore. I really liked him as Jonas
There
Peterson.
you go.
And then he was in Predator, and there was some TV show he was in. I think it was a TV show. He was like a Vietnam veteran or something like that.
He's in The Mandalorian right now.
Yes.
That's right. He is.
So he's doing just fine. So Carl Weathers, release the Carl Weather tapes. Release the Apollo tapes.
Yeah, and like this is a famous picture too. This is a picture from a movie everybody's seen. They're gonna be like, oh, don't use this in the film. Like, what are you doing?
You know what they failed to do here? What they should have done in this picture? They should have had Paulie's face over Apollo's punching Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Although I don't know if Paulie would want his face on.
Yeah, right. If Apollo wasn't black, he would have done it. But
yeah.
It's strange that they would need Carl Weathers' permission to even use a photo, though, because he's a part of the Rocky universe. So
it's a weird.
Yeah.
It must be some sort of licensing of images because
Yeah,
it depends what they signed on. Because I know, like, I'm not a nerd here, believe it or not, but I know with the Star Wars characters, the actors, they signed off on their image. So they are allowed to use the Han Solo, Princess Leia, Mark Hamill, all these, like, using their fake and real. So Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, they released that image of that character so they can do as many Han Solo images on puzzles, lunchboxes, games as they want. They signed that off. Now, they probably get a nice little cut from it, but they signed off their likeness.
They could make a Han Solo blow-up doll, and he couldn't do anything about it.
I'm sure someone's done something. So he's picking up Paulie's laundry. And then now they cut to the scene of him going out to his backyard. It's a very humble backyard. He does some pull-ups on the bar. So far, these two scenes could have easily been stayed in the film. I think it would have added to the film if they took out all the steps scenes. That's what they should have replaced it with.
right.
Steps is the worst character in the Rocky films, bar none.
Trying to think of other characters just to confirm that, but yeah, I don't know.
Who's worse?
Well, I know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to go through it.
I don't mean. I didn't mean to sound attacking when I said that, but I was like, I'm just curious who would be worse than Steps. And let's just talk about Steps. There is a Steps scene here. This is actually really good acting on Sly's part. This one I did watch. It's a little long, so we'll watch it through and we'll talk about it afterwards. I can see why they cut this one out. This is a scene that would have stayed in had this been like a mini series, maybe, because it is good character development between these two characters, so it does add to Steps a little bit. But this way, I like Steps a little bit better. Oh, I think it's Ruben saying hi, so let's actually good timing. So Ruben's about to join, guys.
And I'm all excited. I haven't seen or talked to Ruben forever.
This is very exciting. I haven't talked to my brother since I kicked him off the show.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Look at that beard. Look at your beard.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
But I haven't seen it like live in person in a while. I've seen it on pictures on Facebook and stuff. So, yeah. Ruben, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Who do we have here?
Well, we have Kyle, as you know. You know who Kyle is, of course.
Yes, we're Facebook friends.
How's it going, Ruben?
Good. Nothing is more genuine in life than a Facebook friend.
Totally. That I've never met in real life before.
Well, Kyle, you and I have only met in real life once.
Yeah, that's true.
But we have met, yeah. Ruben, we have with us a couple of individuals who are, believe it or not, we have fans of the show. They are patrons, and one of our little perks that we did for the season finale was invited whoever wanted. Some people were unable to make it due to time zone stuff, who did say they wanted to be here, but we said, look, if you want to come join the live conversation of the season finale of Rocky Balboa, they can. And they've been watching me and Kyle record, and they get to chime in and offer their insights on stuff, and it's been great. It's actually been really, really fun.
Awesome. So we got Luis. How do I pronounce your name?
Yes, sir, Luis. That's fine. Luis. Either way.
Fantastic.
How you doing?
Good. I'm sure you've already talked, but where are you hailing from?
I am from Houston, Texas.
Oh, wow. I've never been there. It's got a reputation.
Yeah. Yes, Texas is big.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
No, in terms of politics, the city itself, it's pretty 50-50, obviously, depending on where you're at in the city. But we've had a Democratic mayor last few rounds. So, yeah, Texas itself, obviously, going to lean conservative. But Houston, at least, 50-50 are leaning Democrat. Or, like I said, depending where you're suburban, urban, wherever you're at. So
Cool. Interesting.
And we got Chad over there. Chad, you want to say hi?
Hey, Ruben, nice to meet you.
Oh, you too. Hey, another fellow beard.
Yes, we both have beards.
We outnumber those clean-shaven Kyle and Ryan.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Chad, you know who you look like? Now, it just dawned on me. You ever watch Star Trek The Next Generation? Will Riker with the beard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I never thought of that. That's
Hey, everyone. We got Jonathan Frakes with us today. This is amazing. Wow. Mr. Frakes, you're a wonderful actor. I really enjoyed you as number one. Great job on guest starring on the Picard miniseries. It was good to have you on, Mr. Frakes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am from Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Not out in Collinsville. It's outside of Oklahoma City, Tulsa area. I don't know if you guys know the cities in Oklahoma at all. Or...
My aunt lives in Oklahoma.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, in Norman.
Norman, okay. Yeah.
Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, Boomer Center.
Ruben, we're just going over another deleted scene if you want to watch it.
I can do one.
Okay. Ruben, you remember the character Steps in the Rocky Balboa films? Sorry. Here we go. You'll see who he is. Oh, I miss you, brother.
Well, I think working hard makes your head strong. You know, like when I was a kid, I'd stare off at these street lights for like 30 minutes and try not to blink, or I'd be squeezing a ball until I thought my hand was going to explode. I was teaching myself to be uncomfortable because I knew being uncomfortable might come in handy someday, like when I was in the ring and such.
Yes, why are you telling me all this?
Just making conversation.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Who should I be talking to? The pigeons?
So how come you call my mom Little Marie?
Well, that's how I know her.
Yeah, well, she isn't little no more.
I ain't calling her large.
Why not?
You know, you shouldn't be goofing on your mother.
Look, man, she's my mother.
You know, she's your mother, but mother should be goof-proof. You know, heard from your father lately?
Why?
Just curious. Him not being around bother you?
No.
Not at all.
I said it doesn't.
Okay. Oh man, took it on the arches. It really bothered me, and my mother took off too, like in a different direction. So I kind of understand.
What you do?
Nothing, you know, nothing you can do. It bothers me. It still does. What do you do about it? You cry every day. You take your lumps. Everybody's got lumps. It's a lumpy life. Period. You, well, you're really lucky. You got a mother who loves you. And she ain't quitting you. So you gotta be listening to her, because if you listen to them dumbbells on the street over there, you're gonna end up doing a lot of wrong, like me.
A lot of wrong like you. Man, you made it all the way.
I know, that was freak luck.
Well, I'll take some of that freak luck.
Now, waiting for freak luck is for suckers.
It'll work for you.
You know, I got a break I had this silly name, the Italian Stallion. People thought it was kind of a joke. Some like a joke that backfired. If you want something, you gotta go out and get it and not be waiting for free clubs. You know.
Oh, so you think you got it all together?
Would I be climbing into a hole in the cement if I had it all together? No, I don't think so.
So why you wasting my time? And you don't gotta talk to me if you don't want to.
You like dogs?
Dogs?
Dogs.
I think that's a pretty decent scene, especially for him trying to bond with Steps. I don't know if it's necessary. I like it all right. I think it's a pretty decent scene.
Have you seen it before?
Yes, I have seen it before, actually. I have the Blu-ray, so I've seen all the deleted stuff.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So, although it's a deleted scene, as you pointed out about Steps, it's confirmation he is the most worth the shit character in the entire. I'm glad they didn't show that. That would have been extra minutes of Steps. I wouldn't need it. Rocky seemed a little sleepy, or I don't know. Maybe it was the sun in his eyes when he was down there, down below wherever he was, underneath, not quite street level. It was a lumpy life. I remember hearing that part. I was like, yeah, this doesn't take. Not a fan.
It's not super necessary scene. I'm sure they took it out mainly because it kind of distracts from the overall story arc. Like, it isn't about Steps as such. Like, they don't want to make it too much about Steps or too much about Little Marie. They're kind of just little sideshow characters. Rocky seems to be trying to do some mentoring all over again, like Little Marie speech type 2, not listening to the people on the corner and not following them. And that's exactly what he told his mom. I liked about that scene is you get a really teeny glimpse into Rocky's childhood, which is this mystery. Mm-hmm. You almost know nothing about it, right? So any little tidbit, it's kind of like super interesting. You hear about Rocky's parents kind of running out on him. I guess still bothers him. And you saw in the first film how he had a picture of them on his mirror. So there's some sort of value to them there. And about him making himself uncomfortable and stuff, just, I don't know, any little bit about his past or childhood I really grab onto. That part's regrettable for me not being in the film. But I'm glad I have the deleted scene to see that. I want to be mad at Steps sometimes because he's like kind of being a dick. But then again, it's like I think he's just angry at the world because he lives next to like burnt out building and his dad's not around and they're kind of just scraping
Steps.
By. Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it here on the step.
Yeah.
I can see why it was deleted. It's my first time seeing it. I liked Rock's advice, though I didn't like his comment about if I had it all figured out, I wouldn't be going to a hole in the wall. You know, you can never dog on working. If you're working, you're working.
Yeah, good point.
I agree with that.
Kyle, I knew you were going to beat me with that nugget of the parents. He did mention his dad about the arches. What's he referring to, arches? He said something about his dad and the arches. Is that jail?
Maybe he worked at McDonald's.
Speaking of jail, can I do a little tangent here?
Before you get to it, hold on to it. What I got from the speech was he mentioned his dad about arches. I'll have to go back and listen to it again. I think he's saying his dad was behind bars. And then his mom went a different way. They both went their separate ways. So they got divorced. All the same, they actually got separated and divorced. And the reason why I think he went to jail, because he asked Steph, does it not bother you that your dad's not around? In fact, I think he was trying to bond with this older kid by saying, hey, you know, you're probably the age that he was when he lost his parents as either through jail, divorce, both, because they left him. He's trying to gauge with this kid, hey, what's it like to lose your parents? Does it bother you? Because it looks like it's still, as a 59-year-old man, it still bothers him. They didn't have a father figure.
Hey, Ryan, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some prison outside of Philadelphia that is known for its arches. Eastern State Prison. I know Philadelphia area was where I think the first prison in the world was, the first modern type of prison.
Sure, well, yeah, that makes sense. So his dad went to jail. The little nugget of his history, his dad went to jail and his mom probably divorced the dad after that imprisonment.
A little tangent, if you don't mind.
Of course.
In Rocky V, his lawyer in the office said Rocky had convictions for assault relating to loan sharking. Do you think Rocky did prison time? Did we talk about this before?
Well, remember he says nothing worth bragging about.
So you could have a record but get probation or something like that. But you think Rocky's done time on the inside?
Maybe the drunk tank. I don't think it's anything serious.
I don't know. You can get like a year or two for assault. I don't know. Maybe. See, I don't know. Rocky's mysterious past. Like, I don't want them to do a Rocky prequel because I think that it who's going to do it, right?
Well,
But-
a Rocky prequel will just literally be him breaking thumbs and visiting his dad. And visiting his dad in jail, I guess. Like,
I still watch it.
yeah, we still watch it because there's nerds that would watch it. Ruben, you got time for another deleted scene?
Believe it or not, I gotta go.
We just want to say, and I know I speak for a lot of listeners, Ruben, that we love you, we miss you, we hope you're doing well. Kyle, as good as he is, will never be you. No.
No.
All joking aside, obviously you're my brother, and I truly do miss podcasting with you. And for the record, the invitation's always open. You're always welcome, and I'm really glad you took this time to at least to say hi, especially on the season 6 finale.
Well, thanks. I appreciate being invited. Yeah, life has ebbs and flows, and I don't know what an ebb is or what a flow is or what that means.
Well, Ruben, life is lumpy.
Life is lumpy. Right now is very, very lumpy.
Right.
I'm in the midst of closing up my business and trying to start a new one. I just finished working just before I came in, and then after this, I got other things I have to do, and then
all right, brother,
et cetera, et cetera. You get beaten down, you can get back up, right? Thanks, everybody.
Nice to meet you. Take care.
Take it easy, man.
Cheers, guys.
All right, see you later. All right, well, that was Ruben leaving us. Appreciate you. We appreciate everything he's done with the show. And for those who are newer listeners, such as like Chad, you'll hear a lot of Ruben. Of course, basically almost the first 5 seasons. Ruben's my co-host, my brother, and brother in crime, and all that good stuff. He's got a great sense of humor. I also want to acknowledge that Kyle has been a great replacement for Ruben, and according to Greg the First, he's better than Ruben. So, boy, if Ruben hears this episode, he's gonna be very upset about that. Okay, I just throw Greg under the bus. Okay, let's check out the next deleted scene here. This one is "Old Days Ain't So Bad." Is that what this one is called?
These ain't so good.
Oh, sorry, my bad. "Old Days Ain't So Good."
I can't, Rocco. I got responsibilities.
Oh, come on, we do it every year, Paulie.
I can't, Rocco.
Sure you can if you want to.
I can't, Rocco. Hey, Ravi, who's watching the east side?
I checked it 15 minutes ago.
Oh, you like to move around fast, don't you?
And your friend need to wear the hairnet too. USDA regulation.
You wise guy, immigrants. Put this on, please.
I gotta run that.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Hey, I don't want you getting in no trouble, right?
But you know what I told you last year.
Yeah, but I want you with me.
Hey, the place gets robbed. Who's blamed?
Come on, Paul. Nobody's robbing cows in Philly no more. Just for a few hours. I think it's just good talking about the old days.
Yeah, sometimes talking old days stuff ain't so good. What do you think of this? I'm gonna be selling them. It's depressing. I'm here 31 freaking years. And they're grooming some goofy guy that grew up scrubbing elephants to take my job. Oh, you can't take living alone, can you?
What'd you say?
You heard me.
Paul, you just got away just like sticking it in and twisting.
Yo, a few hours, that's it.
Thanks, appreciate it. It's good, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a bad scene. I actually enjoyed it. I thought Polly was a lot more engaged in that one. Both of them were engaged in the previous deleted scenes. Generally, I would have appreciated it, but I could also see that it's, not necessarily adding anything. Are there any other scenes in Rocky Balboa where Paulie kind of makes that jab at him? Oh, you're a little lonely, or...
Well, I actually wanted to ask, because at the beginning of the film, the deleted scene that was at the beginning of the film, it showed Paulie crashing on Rocky's bed or guest room or whatever. But we're going to see we didn't do these deleted scenes in order. A better podcast host would have done this in order. I apologize. So that being said, Paulie does that dig, like Lewis was saying, you don't like being alone, do you? Is he talking about just a tour about living? I couldn't quite catch that.
That morning scene, I don't know where that's supposed to be in the movie. Initially, I would have thought that that's right at the beginning, but I think that's closer to the end or something, or at the end, but more the middle, because Paulie in the alley says if he can move back in the house, and then you see now that he's living at the house at that other scene, restricting the eggs, and then the scene would have preceded the other two.
Okay, so this is a situation where they edited the scene to make it look like Paulie isn't living there, and then they inserted that morning scene at the beginning of the film. When it was first filmed with Paulie, it was later in the film. They changed it to have it so it's just Rocky living alone at the beginning. They don't film movies in order. They can write stuff on the fly. So here's a situation where that is the case. So Paulie, during this scene, is living with his girlfriend. Rocky's going to go on his yearly funeral Adrian tour since her death. And it should also be mentioned here that Paulie mentions that he has been working there for 31 years. So he started working at the meat factory in 1965, 9 years before the events of Rocky Part 1. So that's how long he's been at the meat factory.
I'm not sure he was at the meat factory throughout the whole series.
Right, when he lived with Rocky. If he did leave the meat factory, it was only for probably no more than, what was it, 5 years tops maybe, when he was living in style?
Yeah.
When Paulie was at his apex in Rocky 2, he seemed the most responsible. What was his occupation in that movie?
Working as a loan shark in Part 2, wasn't he?
Yeah. So he did for sure quit in Rocky 2. There was a bit of a break. So he did probably, quit. Rocky 2 is supposed to be 79 or 76, depending if you're a purist or not.
Right,
and then probably came back to the meat packing plant after Rocky 4.
Yeah, so let's just say he went back when Rocky went back to the neighborhood in 80. Again, the timeline's messed up. So let's just say from 76 to 85, so 9 years he wasn't there. So he could have, if you take those 9 years out, then maybe he started at the meat packing plant in 1954.
That couldn't be it, because he was born in 1940, I think.
I know. I've been working since I was 14. Could have had a job then. It doesn't say he's been there part-time. It's just that he's been working there.
Yeah.
So, Chad, what do you think of that deleted scene, though, overall?
It further shows Paulie's bitterness in his digs at Rocky. I don't think it's necessary to the movie. It's a good scene, and I think Burt Young is better in it than the one that he's missing Adrian. I guess that's about it. It's not a bad scene. Not really necessary to the entire story arc. Rocky's wanting Paulie to support him on his anniversary. You know how he sees all the locations when he went out with Adrian on the dates and everything, and it's not really needed.
The only thing this scene does, which is unnecessary, well, there's a couple things, but one is to show why Paulie gets fired. Paulie's painting in his job and just doesn't give a shit anymore. He's checked out, and this younger upstart guy is obviously going to take his job. They probably notice if you disappear from your job for 3 hours. I don't know. And then, it shows the tension between Rocky and Paulie and Rocky's inner turmoil, but other scenes show that. This scene's kind of superfluous. It'd be repetitive, kept it in, and the movie would have gone too long.
This is the scene the other Greg was talking about in his email, showing the dog with the bullet head wound and that slide painted over the dog. So this was an actual painting that Burt Young has done, which is that life and art life together. Because now we have Burt Young saying, or the Paulie character is saying, I'm going to sell these paintings. And Burt Young is actually going to sell these paintings. Sylvester Stallone actually mucked up his painting a little bit for fun. And I love how they implement real life stuff into the film.
Yeah, this is one of those, I guess, another meta moment, like you pointed out before, man. Stallone loves to put these in his films, I guess.
Yeah. This one here, I don't think I've seen this one. I must have, but it's been a long time. This is Rocky Balboa training at the gym. So let's check this out. Okay, so this scene that's taking place, we should say for our listeners, because we're seeing this is just after Rocky and his son had that talk. And so now we're going to see that Rocky is indeed going to do some training that he talked about to Robert, that he's going to do some training. So this is pre-montage training. Oh, he's sparring, Kyle. For our listeners, it's no point just playing that music. So they have that opera music kind of playing while in slow motion we see Rocky sparring, and probably sparring poorly. And little Marie's watching, and she can barely watch as Rocky's getting pretty much pummeled here. And he's slow.
Duke was screaming something. I don't know what he was saying to him.
Oh, here we go.
All right, that's it. Shower up, baby, shower up.
Hey, I lost my balance in there. I don't know if it's such a good idea. I think the dog could do better than I'm doing.
You're a little rusty first time back, huh? You can't expect a big bomb so early. And Duke got some ideas for you tonight.
What ideas?
Good, bright ideas, new way of thinking. Go ahead, shower up, okay?
You look good, Rob. Paulie, what's his problem?
He's thinking rather than doing. And you're probably making him rusty.
Sure, Paulie. Hey, whatever you're thinking is wrong.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Now, when Duke's talking to him about fighting again, he's like, so your speed's gone, your knees are gone, and this and that. He talks about how sparring goes. I think we see why. He's not looking too good. He's really slow. He's an older boxer. And he's doing the thing to where he's not sure of himself until he gets an Adrian speech type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the scene really does for the movie. I mean, it shows him in the beginning stages of trying to come back as a fighter, and he's not doing that great. And that's okay. He doesn't need to be, Rocky IV great. It doesn't need to be in the movie, though, I don't think.
Yeah, if the original plan was this scene followed by the Tony speech scene Chad just mentioned, yeah, it kind of looks bad for Rocky. It's like, oh, he's not sparring because he just got his ass whooped in sparring. That's why he's not sparring. I have no problem showing him struggle because that's happened plenty of times before. But if the plan was to go from that directly to that and not having any other ways to get around sparring or showing him at least improving again and maybe just the scare of an injury, and that's what caused him to stop the sparring, okay, but I guess that would add too much running time to the film. It's not necessary. Also, I thought the opera the music was out of place for Rocky. I can't recall that anything like that being in Rocky in any of the other films. So that was a little jarring to me. And the little Marie Paulie interaction, I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
One thing Paulie said that really stuck out to me that wouldn't have stuck out to me in the past is he said Rocky is thinking rather than doing. And that reminds me of something I learned in karate that we talk about all the time, and that's called a mind of no mind. And what it means is when you're doing like a pattern or a fight or something like that, kind of letting your body take over and do the thinking for you, like your muscle memory. Not thinking about what you're doing in your head, just feeling it and doing it. And that's how you do it right. And Rocky's kind of lost that ability to do that. He's trying to think, okay, what am I supposed to do with sparring here? What am I supposed to do doing there? But you're expending that mental energy doing that instead of actually just doing it because he hasn't done it in so long. So his muscles and body have to like relearn how to fight again because he hasn't fought for decades.
I like that. All good points. The only thing that I'll add is speaking to the Little Marie and Paulie interaction was you see that dig that Paulie said? He goes, he's rusty because of you, the woman weakened legs.
Oh, I missed that part.
I missed that too.
Yeah, and then she says, it's not what you think. That stuff's not going on. We're not sleeping together, she says. So he actually accuses her of you're making him soft and clumsy because his legs are weak.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, let's be clear. I wouldn't blame Rocky. We've said this before. Little Marie looks great in this film.
I think she looked pretty good in that scene. I was thinking that right now. Like, damn. Better than I recalled. I was like, wow, okay, that'll work.
Imagine if they got the meth addict fire barrel actress for this movie.
Yeah.
Rocky would have got rid of her faster than Tommy Gunn. I hope she's not listening to the show. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. Her acting career is still good, apparently, according to her webpage. I'm a terrible person. Hey, at least you had an acting career. I'm not known for anything, so there you go. I don't have a website.
At least you had a prime.
That's right. What about my prime? What about my prime, Jody? Whatever your last name is. Okay. All right, this is the last deleted scene. This is the scene showing where Paulie does move out, and we get a glimpse of Paulie's love interest. Here we go. First time in the films. And I wish they kept the scene.
Yo, who's here?
It's me. How you doing?
How you doing, Betty?
Good. Paulie gave me the key, wanted me to come get his stuff.
Why?
'Cause he wants to move in with me. He said he told you.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
You're not mad, are you?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting a dog for a while. Probably don't like furs.
Good, then it worked out. Do me a favor, get that box, my back's acting up.
Sure.
Well, I mean, you definitely can see, Rocky, the bond that he has with Paulie. Paulie has to be his own man. If he wants to go live with a woman, he can. That's all I can derive from that scene because, really, I don't think it would have mattered if it was in the film. So they would have had to have added her in some other scene, too, because it would have been really weird if that would have been her only appearance. Because outside of the other deleted scene, there's not really much talk about girlfriend, is there? That I can recall?
I don't recall.
Yeah, right? It would have been shoehorned in there.
Other than his date on the Rocky 1 fight.
Yeah. That's right.
$150.
And his robot, of course. I forgot the robot's name.
It was never given a name in the film, but it's Seiko in real life.
Seiko, okay.
I think it's connected to that scene where they show Paulie living with Rocky, and then, of course, this scene shows that he's moving out and moving in with a girlfriend. It shows Paulie trying to live his own life and not with Rocky. It's okay. I don't think it's needed for the movie. It's an okay scene.
Yeah, Paulie girlfriend story arc. You can't have too many story arcs in the movie. Plus, it's like I just can't see Paulie with a girlfriend. Like it's too weird for me.
Just picture that actress and Burt Young making love. Just have that image right now.
Like
pretty crazy.
She's not super hot or anything, but she's definitely could do better than Paulie.
Exactly. She's younger than Paulie. The actress and or the character is about probably like 25 years. It's like Paulie says, I want to get my own little Marie.
Yeah, exactly. But she's also kind of like Paulie, and she's like seems to be really blunt.
This is not a problem, is it? No, I thought about getting a dog. Paulie doesn't like fur. And then he's like, okay, great, get that out of the box. I'm out of here.
Yeah, my back's hurting.
Paulie is definitely one of those characters does adult things, but you don't need to see or know.
You see his porno collection in Creed.
He's fertile. He's fertile because of those adult comics that he has with him.
Yeah, that's right.
They keep your fertility. He tells that to Apollo, remember?
Paul's like, I'm way ahead of you, buddy.
So there you go, guys. That's all the deleted scenes that I'm aware of. Thank you. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has supported the show for the past 6 seasons. The show has gone through, of course, hosting changes. So we've collaborated with other podcasts who have become friends in real life. We've seen the audience grow. We've seen the audience change. People that started listening from the beginning. I know there's people that don't listen anymore. They've left the show. But that's fine. That, like any TV show or movie franchise, it doesn't matter. People come and go. I understand that. But we want to thank those who have stuck around since the beginning, those who have come on late and have gone back. And we especially want to say thank you to Patreon. $1 here, $1 there helps to host the feed of the show. It's not free. We use Libsyn. Libsyn is not a free service. We've had to expand it to bring on Slycast and Rocky Minute. So we want to really thank those who participate in that to get the feed out there. And the reason why we use Libsyn, a site like Libsyn, because there are free sites, but it just allows us to do it properly, and as a podcaster, it's just easier and safer, and your shows are protected and things like that. So we want to thank everyone that helps out. And like I said, with Patreon, we've always promised that you'll never miss out on the show. But those who participate in Patreon, I want to give them something extra. So the feed will always have a show. You'll never have to pay to listen to a show, but Lewis and Chad are examples of, if you throw a couple bucks a month into the coffer, you can come on the show live, you can be a guest host, you can just watch us live, you get to see the videos, you get to see the movies that we, or as we talk to the movie, you can see what we're looking at. And I think it might make it a little bit fun, but you also get to see all the garbage that doesn't make it to the audio, so it might be painful to watch, so who knows. That being said, I just want to thank you guys personally. It fuels our fire a little bit. I don't like it when podcasters lie and say they would do the show if nobody listened. We do this because people listen, and they gives them a little bit of something to enjoy during the day, especially during this time of COVID, and unfortunately the recent news of what's going on in the States right now with racial tension. So we just wanted to add a little bit of levity and brightness in people's life, and I think the Rocky franchise does that. So this is just me saying thank you, because it's the season finale to Rocky Balboa season 6. It's kind of fun because season 7 will actually be the first time it doesn't really follow the numerical things. It'll be Creed season 7.
Thank you so much for allowing me to do this. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kyle. A side note, I got to see Balboa in theaters in 2006 and really enjoyed it. And it was bittersweet because you were really saying goodbye to Rocky. We didn't know Creed was coming in 2015.
No.
So that was a little emotional for me. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. You guys are doing a great job, and I will continue to listen, and I'm looking forward to Creed 1.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it.
Chad. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to definitely thank you guys for having me on here. Apologize for all the editing you're going to have to do. If you had to edit me out of there, dude, I'm okay with it. Because I was so nervous, man, because I'm doing this on my phone. and I keep forgetting that. Oh, I can't. I got to keep the phone straight. Don't move around so much. So sorry about all that shit, dude. I did have a question for you guys.
Yeah, of course.
What is your favorite montage in the series?
Jeez, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'll just say the first one.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. I was up late last night too, so it's like
my favorite montage is really the Rocky IV montage. It's often lauded as, you know, the Rocky IV is the film of montages and music videos, and I get it, but something is so cool about seeing Sly and Rocky, however you want to, but boy, Stallone was in just a peak physical condition. The skipping the rope with the dust kicking up as he's skipping the rope, those upside down sit-ups, and then of course the Drago on the mountain. When he yells that Drago yell, I just love it. It is so over the top and so crazy, but I just love how he runs up. And Vince DiColo's soundtrack, let's just give a shout out to Vince DiColo and his soundtrack for Rocky IV. And I love Bill Conti, but it's kind of nice that we do have one film that's just balls to the wall insanity, and that's Rocky IV. And yeah, I really enjoy the Rocky IV montage. I mean, they're all great. The worst one is Rocky Balboa, as far as montages go, but the best one is, in my opinion, Rocky IV. What about you, Lewis? You asked the question. What's your favorite?
Yeah, Rocky II. And my favorite moment in the entire series, I think the moment that gives me the most adrenaline is when, you know, Adrian tells him to win, you know, and then, you know, ding, and then Mickey, oh, take this, what are we waiting for? And that whole starts. Those back-to-back montages, dude, no matter what I'm doing for any of the montages, if I hear them, I'm going to start running in place and shadow boxing or whatever. But Rocky II, that one's just a little more, man. I just love that. That's my favorite one, for sure.
That's awesome. That's a good moment when Adrian said, hey, Rocky. And he's like, yeah? There's something I want you to do for me. Yeah? Yeah, get a vasectomy. And that would have ended the series right there. Cut the credits. That's it. Rocky's over. He gets fixed. He loses the fight against Apollo because she's not in the corner. Yeah, okay.
I think we should let our Patreons do the final honors for the show.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Kyle. I was going to say the same thing. Chad and Lewis, take us out.
Ding.
Ding.
Nice. Love it. All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna hang up now because it's gonna stop the recording. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Kyle, you stay on then, okay? Chad, Lewis, thanks for coming on. I hope to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was nice to meet you.
Do it again. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was awesome to be here and deal with this, man. And it's a lot harder. I didn't do shit. It's a lot harder than it actually looks once you're part of it.
Everyone thinks they can podcast.
It,
everyone thinks they can podcast until they do it, and then they listen to our show and they realize, yeah, we make it seem easy because we're just so good.
Yeah, you're not really ham and eggers. You're doing a good job.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind, guys. All right, so let's let you guys leave on your own there, so I don't have to kick you out.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right, that was a lot of fun. All right, so it's just us. How'd that go, Kyle? What do you think?
Oh, I thought that was great.
I think it was fun.
It seems like the guys had a good time.
Yeah, they really did. They did, and I hope that's okay. I mean, it was just I would say just a season finale, but it was just like, you know, we're just shooting the on Rocky Balboa, looking at deleted scenes, but it's a way to show people, hey, you can be a part of this if you want. Obviously, we're not going to have 60 co-hosts, but I think special little episodes like this would be fun to get people in.
No, I think it's a good idea. We should do it again for sure.
Yeah, it's positive. People will hear this banter. Like, I got stuff I'd like to say, and yeah.
Yeah, Greg, where the are you? Greg the First on here.
Greg the First, he contributes, and I want to apologize because this will be in the show. Kind of went through your emails really fast. I did read them. I really appreciate them, but just for sake of time, we do appreciate it, though. Appreciate it. Kyle, enjoy the rest of your night. Get some sleep.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. I will talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.